A couple controversial calls down the stretch that went against the Golden State Warriors in a 4-point loss. They dropped to 1-2 on this 5-game homestand as the Rockets improved to 12-4 on the season. They've won 12 of their last 14 games. However, their defense really stepped up in the second half, holding the Warriors to 41 second half points and 2 of 21 from the three-point line. That defense is real, and the Warriors will have to lick their wounds. And we'll have an update on Stephen Curry as he walked away from this game with the knee injury there. We'll have an update, of course, later on here on Toyota Warriors Postgame Live with NBA champion Festus Ezeli, my brother from another mother, Rob Brooks. I am Bonte Hill, and we talked about Reed Sheppard. You brought him up. Zena brought him up the other day. I laughed. Well, he went off with a career-high 30 points.
I told you he was going to be a problem. We've seen the Warriors have problems with opposing guards all season long, and Reed Sheppard has become a much better player this year. Only had 7 points in Phoenix a couple of nights ago. Just had a feeling he was going to go off, and he got anything he wanted. He got it off the dribble. He got it spot up. He got it going to the basket. Yep. He got anything he wanted, and the Warriors were powerless to stop him.
And that's the point guard for the other team. He sets the tone, and I thought he did a great job of putting pressure on the Warriors' rim the whole night long. With no Kevin Durant, they struggled. The Houston Rockets struggled to manufacture points. So early in the first half, it was solely Reed Sheppard. And then in the second half, he got to the rim and was getting everybody else shots. They got involved in the game defensively. I think they did also a great job of stifling the Warriors, getting offensive rebounds, and then Reed Sheppard was just going crazy.
Yeah, the third quarter really flipped this game when they held the Warriors to 17 points and 0 of 8 shooting from the three-point line. Reed Sheppard, 31 points, 12 of 25 from the floor, but then they got on the glass. They attacked the Warriors, and they mugged them at times and made it a physical brawl, which we knew would be the case coming into this game.
25 offensive rebounds for the Rockets out of their 53 total. What does that mean? Mean you get extra shots. The Rockets took 99 shots tonight. Now, they only made 39 of them, so the percentage wasn't very good. But again, this Rockets team, they're just all about overwhelming you with their rebounding, overwhelming you with their length and athleticism, overwhelming you with how physical they play defense. And we saw it take its toll on Steph tonight.
You got to give also credit to Ime Udoka.
Yeah.
This is a very disciplined basketball team in the Houston Rockets. They came out there with a lot of pressure, put a lot of pressure on Steph Curry, made sure every pass was tough. Made sure they turned the ball over, get out in transition. The fast break points led to everything else because you have the bigs. Clint Capella had 8 offensive rebounds tonight. You know, this all down the line, everybody played a little bit harder, got a little bit of what they wanted. They got second chance points. And on the other hand, the Warriors only got one shot, and every shot was pressured. Every time they got a shot, it was contested. It was rushed. This is a different pace for this Houston Rockets than the Warriors tonight.
All right, let's pick up the crunch time tape as the Rockets used a 24-6 run to take their first lead of the game. They were up 83-76, but the Warriors crawled back into it. And here's a critical play right here, critical possession. Ahmed Thompson initially called for the charge. It's a tie game, 91 apiece. Now, Steph gets banged up. Earlier, he had banged knees with Alperen Şengün. He was shook up there. But on the floor, it looked like a good call. The Rockets challenged. And guess what? They won the challenge. Ahmed Thompson hits 2 free throws. What do you guys think?
That's an offensive foul, first and foremost, right there. Steph was moving, but that extended arm is an offensive foul.
I'll tell you this. Ime Udoka said to his team, because you missed a couple bumps before this, he said, every time you see Steph, hit him. The whole game long, every time you see Steph, make sure you hit him. And you can see that the whole game long. They just wore Steph out.
Now, what do you guys think about this? Steph called for the charge. It looked like the Warriors may win this challenge. It's a tough call right there. Holiday's in position. It's a 50-50 play. Call on the floor stands.
That's a bad call, but to me, the game didn't come down to that. The game came down to the fact that the Warriors couldn't stop this guy.
Look at this. Look at this.
The Warriors were powerless to do anything against the Rockets' athleticism.
Great play by Ahmed Thompson. Think about that. Ahmed Thompson, they get the call overturned, hits 2 free throws. It's 93-91. On the other end, Pod gets 3 opportunities from the free throw line. Mm-hmm. He doesn't sink none of them. He has an empty trip from the free throw line. And again, Stephen Curry, we're going to get an update on that as he walked off the floor there. Was fighting Dr. Rick Celebrini, trying to stay into the basketball game, but he walks off. And that's an unfortunate break for the Golden State Warriors, who are now without Steph, Al Horford, and Jonathan Kuminga. So hopefully Steph will be okay. But the Rockets just going to the rim relentlessly. I'm looking at these second half numbers, Fezzi. Warriors shot 36.5% from the floor, 2 of 21 from the three-point line. They couldn't get any offense going in that second half.
Yeah, the story of the second half was turnovers, speeding the Warriors up. That's what the Houston Rockets did. They put their imprint defensively on the game first. Then on the offensive end for them, it was just about getting out in fast breaks, getting Reed Sheppard going, because they just couldn't stop him. Pick and rolls, he would just get into the teeth of the defense, was making shots. And then offensive rebounds. They got second, third opportunities. The big men were really active. There's no Kevin Durant. There's no efficiency. But if I get numbers on you, then we see who wins.
And then you had Reed Sheppard being the head of the snake for the Rockets in the third quarter. Like I said, he was getting it any way he wanted to, but specifically getting to the paint, either finishing at the rim or kicking it back out and then getting the Warriors defense in the scramble mode. And it was either back to the basket or the Warriors were unable to get the recovery where it needed to be, and the Rockets were able to score off of that recovery. And one thing about the three-point shooting, what did the Warriors do three-point shooting-wise? Do you have those numbers real quick?
2 of 21 in the second half.
Yeah.
I believe they were 10 of 22 in the first half.
The Rockets only allow 13.9 made three-pointers a game. They did their job. We were talking about this before we went hot, that the Rockets are in the image of their coach, and their philosophy on defense and fouling is they can't call them all. So we just going to keep pushing it.
I just thought the first half was about the Warriors, and second half was about Houston Rockets putting their defense, just making sure. This is a top 5 defensive team in the NBA. And with that, there's the offense is not going, so let's use our defense to be the measuring stick. I thought Alman Thompson was phenomenal. He wasn't getting going in the third quarter, but he was everywhere else. He was getting offensive rebounds. He was flying around. He was disrupting Steph's passes. I thought that they did a great job taking the Warriors out, and they just got into a rhythm. Reed Sheppard, he's a young player, but he really got his team going. In a night where Operation Goon only scores 16 points. He only scores 16. He averages 22. You think that in a game like this, the Warriors would win it with no Kevin Durant, but still everybody else showed up in their own different way.
And I don't even necessarily mean this in a negative way. The Rockets drag you down to their level. They don't mind playing a rock fight. They don't mind if their shots don't go in because they're such a good rebounding team, particularly offensively. So if they could get you playing that style of basketball, they're perfectly fine with that. It's the other squads like the Warriors, that need to hit shots from the outside. It's the other squads that get really uncomfortable when they're not making shots, and all of a sudden the Rockets are like, now you're down on our level. This is the game we want to play. Then they start pushing the issue, and at that point, it's over.
25 offensive rebounds for Houston tonight, the most the Warriors have allowed since 2007. But the big concern is Stephen Curry, of course, the chef, who's off to a dynamic start this season. But what will happen with this knee right here? He banged knees with Operation Goon. See him feel it right away. Started hobbling around there. And that's never a good feeling, right, Fezzi?
No, especially because of who Steph is. You see right there, he bangs knees and he still tries to get out there and run. But all night long, every possession was about being physical with Steph, taking him out of the game, because that's the one guy you don't want to get going in this building right here.
Well, they took Steph out of that game in the second half. He was just 1 of 6 from the floor, 0 of 5 from the three-point line, just 6 points. 4 of them came from the free throw line. So attention to detail on where Steph was coming, relocating off of screens. Ime Udoka's squad did a really good job on Stephen Curry tonight.
They were top blocking him, they were fronting him, they were doubling him, and then when there was one-on-one coverage, it was Amen Thompson. So that's tough for you all night long. I thought it was interesting in the second quarter. It seemed like the Warriors were trying to get Steph on the ball more, and I think we were talking about this. They got him a couple of times switched, off of Steph, and got Reed Sheppard switched on him. And it seemed like the Warriors didn't take advantage of that. You're only going to get, and to me, I would think the Rockets made a mistake in that regard. That's not necessarily how they want to live guarding Steph. You're only going to get that mistake a couple of 3 times and not take advantage of it. I thought was folly.
Ball never got back to Steph.
Never got back to
the ball. Could not move.
Yeah.
They were doing a great job of being in the pass. This is a long, athletic team. Yeah. Every time you try to move the ball on them, there is somebody tipping the basketball, somebody in the passing lane. It felt like when a pass went through, you breathe a sigh of relief. It was like, man,
we did it.
Somebody passed the ball successfully. They were out there in the passing lanes. This is a very young, scrappy team. And, man, to be able to win a game like this on the road without your superstar and having your young guys not be able to make shots and still get this win says a lot about what their defense does and what Ime Udoka has really imprinted on this team.
No Tari Eason, no Steven Adams, and no Kevin Durant because they had Reed Sheppard to help them out tonight. He set the tone in that first quarter with 11. Right away, he hit 3 threes, and you're like, uh-oh, he's comfortable again. He scores a career-high 31 points. The first-round pick out of Kentucky from a couple years ago.
Spot up.
9 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 blocked shots. He filled up the stat sheet, and Rod, we kept talking about this. We kept discussing it. What will he look like in the month of April when the Rockets are gearing up for a playoff run?
I mean, he's already looking pretty good right now. So we've seen spot up. Okay, a couple of dribbles. We get to the elbow. All right, there he is, on the break, getting to the rim fairly easily. He's tenacious. I mean, the only thing he doesn't do is shoot free throws, but he had the greenest of lights tonight. It was like, hey man, get it how you live. And, it was a little slow for him there around the second quarter. But again, I thought the third quarter, just the fact that he was able to get to the rim anytime he wanted to, that opened things up for him.
The pick and pop was really open for him early in the game. Early in the game, it was him setting the pick and roll, popping out to the three-point line. He must have really watched Utah the other night, because that's exactly what Keontae George got. Those open shots, you got to have the guy on the weak side stunt, help, switch, especially after 2 made shots. You got to make him uncomfortable defensively. I thought the Warriors just let him get way too comfortable. One of the plays, he drove right by somebody and got to the rim for a dunk. I don't think I've ever seen Reed Sheppard get a dunk in the NBA on somebody. So that's just the Warriors' defense needs to be better than what it was.
But that's the thing. Once they start to move, once they get into scramble mode, once they start helping and try to recover, that's just not the Warriors' thing.
Reed Sheppard, 6 of 12 in that second half, 16 points, 1 of 4 from the three-point line. So he did his damage in the first half from 3, but he took his game inside, drove by anybody, and give him credit for making those 2 icing free throws there at the end of the game. So moving forward, what does this mean for the Golden State Warriors? You saw Houston for the first time since that riveting playoff series where it looked a lot like this tonight.
Well, point of attack defense is something that we have discussed at length. Point of attack defense, turnovers, rebounding. Right now, the rebounding, teams are coming in here getting, incredible rebounds. This is 25 offensive rebounds is a lot. It's hard to overcome that when you're doing a good job defensively. It's just deflating for a team. You come into it, you get a stop, you play the whole shot clock, and then you get an offensive rebound, and every play that's the case, it gives life to the other team, and it takes life out of your team. So for the Warriors, they got to do a better job rebounding, and maybe it's a collective effort.
The Rockets got 99 shot attempts. Imagine if Kevin Durant were here to get a piece of those 99 shot attempts.
Without Steven Adams, too.
Without Steven Adams. Yeah. Without Tari Eason. It boggles the mind. It's to get almost 100 shot attempts, to get almost the majority of your rebounds to be offensive is just insane.
So I'm hearing Stephen Curry, right quad contusion. So nothing to do with the knee, right quad contusion for Stephen Curry. We'll see about his status for Saturday.
Contusions are, you never know with contusion. It takes a while to heal. Sometimes you kind of have to listen to your body. But for Steph, that's a lot of beating he took in one game.
Yep.
And for the Warriors, you got to find ways to take advantage of the fact that they were pushing him out the whole time.
Yes, sir.
No doubt about that. Warriors lose their second home game of the season. It dropped to 10-10. We'll hear from Steve Kerr. Game live as we take a look at tonight's poll results. Hopefully everybody scanned that QR code. But 9% of you, I'm disappointed. Dubs fans, what are you most thankful for? How could the answer not be Steph's continued excellence?
It is,
no
man.
disrespect.
Why are you so greedy? It's 91%.
Hey, man, no disrespect to the young core.
That should be 99.9.
No disrespect to Jimmy Butler. And no disrespect to Al Horford, GP2, and some of the all-season additions.
Whenever people say no disrespect, there's disrespect that's coming after that.
It's disrespectful to Steph
Curry. They would say Steph's continued excellence should be
91%.
Come on, man.
Oh, man. Steph has been on a tear. And that's why, he's number 1 on the scouting report. Of course the Houston Rockets did everything they did to stop him. Steph has been incredible this season so far. But all those things are things that the Warriors should and can be thankful for. Jimmy's been incredible. His duo with Steph Curry. Tonight, Jimmy was phenomenal. All right, this is the type of game that he thrives in. The ability to be physical, to get to the rim, draw fouls. You saw all that in Jimmy Butler's game right now. And, he just needed more with the bench unit. It just needed more. The ball was being turned over at a high clip, or else I think that second unit really could have made a push in the game.
Yeah, there were some interesting combinations alongside Jimmy Butler, especially late in the third quarter. Guy Sanchez, I don't think he had his best effort tonight offensively. He was efficient, 6 of 11, but the Rockets did a good job of trying to contain his drives there. But he was finding the wide open shooters, just couldn't hit enough shots around Jimmy Butler tonight, Rod.
It was just to me, it was a typical Jimmy Butler performance. 6 of 11 from the field, only took 4 threes, making 2 of them, perfect from the free throw line, 7 of 7, no turnovers, 5 assists. That's Jimmy Butler in a nutshell. Just simply not enough help.
No turnovers either for Jimmy Buckets.
He's trying to do his best. He was getting shots at the free throw line, getting those extra baskets. It wasn't enough. It was too much Houston Rockets, too much length, too much athleticism. Every time the Warriors would make a bucket, they would come back and transition and hit one right back. It just was one of those games where they could not get in transition. But Jimmy Butler did a great job. He did a great job trying to enforce himself into the game, bring himself into the, make his presence felt the whole time.
I thought the end of the third quarter around him, there wasn't enough scoring or creators to help him when the Rockets went on that run there. But we could talk about that another day here. Will Richard, no turnovers for him as he got the start tonight in place of GP2. And you know what? Will Richard looked like he belonged on the floor. 18 points, 6 rebounds, 7 to 12. Rod, I thought he cut to the basket well to most points he's had at home this season. Will Richard continues to earn a lot of minutes from Steve Kerr.
Well, it got a little slow for Will Richard over the last few games, so it was good to see him get back to what we had started to fall in love with for Warrior fans at the beginning of the season, where he was doing a lot to fill the stat sheet, and he was doing a lot of things that made it hard for Steve Kerr to take him off the floor. And it was one of those nights where it was hard for Steve Kerr to take him off the floor.
Boy, I love watching Will Richard play the game. I think that he brings a joy. He brings an energy to the game. Yep. We've talked so much about the Warriors' experience. Is that what you call it? Experience?
Sure.
Wisdom. Wisdom. Obviously, the Warriors are the second oldest team in the league, and having some youth in the starting lineup is always important. Will Richard is finding ways to be effective in the game. He hits open shots, which is really important for the offense. When he hits those shots, there's more space for Jimmy and Steph to play. That's why he's there in the starting lineup. But when those shots aren't falling, when the Warriors are struggling, he still seemed to be the one bright light. He was getting rebounds. You saw him get 6 rebounds, but some of those were offensive. And this is your guard. So coming into the game and being that physical guy, playing as hard as you can, getting the hustle points. I think Will Richard is really solidifying himself in that rotation, but also he's getting that trust game by game.
Doesn't hold on to the ball, doesn't turn the ball over. He, just like Jimmy Butler, 0 turnovers tonight. Again, he does so many things that makes it difficult for Steve Kerr to take him off the floor.
Well, let's hear from the young man, Will Richard. Plays so well, he's got a podium game.
What do you sort of make of the Rockets getting 25 offensive rebounds?
Yeah, we knew coming in that they were going to be a physical team on the glass. They play too big sometimes, so we knew that was going to be the challenges, limiting their second chance points and trying to get out there on the glass. So I think we didn't do a great job of doing that. We got to hit them early and be the first ones to the glass and getting rebound to get the job done.
You kind of had to chase down Reed, also guard Jabari. How is it sort of going against guys of different size, playing different positions?
Yeah, I'll probably say just being aware where they always are. Reed is moving a lot, so just trying to stay in his space. He's a good shooter, so trying to contest everything. Jabari's a little taller, so getting underneath him, just trying to make him put on the floor and make him shoot tough twos.
Will, it's obviously an adjustment anytime someone gets hurt, but Steph, so much of your offense revolves around him. If he's out for a couple games, how do you sort of cope with that?
Yeah, that's the challenge. I feel like if Steph is out, everybody else has to kind of improve their game a lot to fill that void that he brings. He brings a lot to our team in all areas of the game, so everybody has to make that jump to kind of fill that.
Yeah, well, you were on the not only started, but you're on the finishing team. Does that show that Kerr has confidence in you? You think? Is that?
Yeah, I feel like it definitely shows that they're starting to trust me more. But just trying to go out there and close out the right way and just make the right plays on the court. I feel like that goes a long way.
One more thing on that no look pass from Steph. Did you know he was going to that he could see you on that? That surprised you?
Yeah, he's a great passer, so he can pretty much see everything on the court. So for me, just being ready and being aware of the shot clock, knowing that time is running down to get a shot off.
You feel confident now?
For sure. I feel like I always felt confident in my game and what I could bring to this team. So I'm just going out there and trying to make the most of the opportunity.
Hi, Will. Monday night, Steve was so happy with how you guys took care of the ball and were able to push the tempo and, have a lot of different scoring contributions. Tonight, the turnovers were kind of back up. How do you guys find the happy medium between being able to run your pace and get the shots that you want and the offense you want with staying in control? I know it's a constant focus for Steve.
For sure. I feel like it just goes back to the fundamentals. making the easy play, not trying to force passes, playing out two once you get in the lane, and just trying to keep it simple. I feel like a lot of our turnovers come from us just being rushed and trying to make the home run play instead of just making the easy one. So I feel like once we get back to doing that, everything can start back flowing.
One follow-up to the earlier question on Steph, specifically on offense, when he's not out there, it seems like you guys have trouble generating shots, which is logical. Mm-hmm. How do you think, what's the easiest way to fix that in your mind?
Yeah, I feel like the ball can't stick. You got to have ball movement, setting screens, getting dives. I feel like when we move the ball and can play out of closeouts, attacking closeouts and stuff like that, I feel like that's what makes us at our best. So I feel like when we're doing that, it definitely helps when Steph is out.
You got some like Hall of Fame vets on your team, and you're a rookie, and I would assume they would try to impart some wisdom and advice and stuff like that. What have those guys given you?
They've given me a lot. I mean, all of them. I've asked them any questions, and they've done a great job of answering that and being very transparent on how they've been successful and how they've had such a long career. So I try to ask them as many questions as I can because I know I can. I'm blessed to be in a situation where I have vets like that.
You seems like you made a concerted effort to crash the boards on offense. Is that some of the emphasis, like on the little things you've been talking about?
Yeah, for sure. And I know I need to come in and provide effort and energy. So I feel like those little plays, crashing offensive glass, second chance points, creating second chance possessions, I feel like that's what this team needs. So for me, I'm just going out there and trying to do that as much as possible.
We do have some highlights, fellas. Trust me, we have plenty to choose from tonight, including that one. 2 answer safety, Draymond.